my name's Autumn. Hi, Flosstube. My name's Autumn, the Yellow Rose Stitcher. Thanks to joining me today. This is video number 2. Let me first just say thank you so much for the warm welcome to Flosstube and the comments, and was really surprised at the number of subscribers already. It's been nice. It's been a pleasant surprise. So glad you liked my whip parade on video number 1. Before I forget, today is March 12th, 2022. So I was to say, I'm glad y'all liked the whip parade. I was, after watching it and editing with it, felt like maybe I have multiple personality disorder with the variety of stitches I like to stitch. You know, I feel like most people have a consistent style. My stuff is I like all kinds of stuff, and that's what I want to stitch. So, and a few of you commented that you liked the variety, so that will continue. So, yeah, and my husband was funny because I have a cupboard on the other side of the room that has cross stitch things that I've kitted up that I haven't started, and he wanted to know why I didn't include those in the whip parade. I'm like, those aren't whips, those are just kitted up. So we had this, 5-10 minute argument. He thinks I should have included those in the whip parade. That's not a whip. So the great debate, although I think he did it just to aggravate me. So but yeah, again, thanks. And as I say, I wanted to touch on a couple of the comments that I had. One from Martha. Thank you. I've commented to your comment, but if you haven't seen it, thank you. She was able to give me the information for this piece that I shared in my first video. I didn't know the pattern name or who it was by, and she had that information. So the pattern is Lydia, and the artwork is by Jan Hagara, Hagara, and the pattern was by Johnson Creative Arts. So I have no idea, it's probably not available, it's from the 80s, but anyway, thank you, Martha, for sharing that information. As I say, I told her one of my goals is to go around and put labels on the back of the stitched pieces as the pattern, and if I stitched them or if my mom stitched them like these, so it'll be good to be able to add that information to there. So and another commenter, I apologize, I'm probably going to say your name wrong, Olja. I had, in my whip parade, I showed a whip that was the hindsight pattern that says stitch, the word stitch, and has the charms on it, and I mentioned in there that I'd already done the hindsight piece quilt, and she wanted to know what color linen I did that on, and so I pulled it off the wall to show you guys. So that's it, and it's a mint green, but I stitched this so long ago, I have no idea who the maker of the fabric is. It's just kind of a mint green, and I don't have the thread information either. But so this is how I finished this one, and I have another one of these little galvanized metal sign from Hobby Lobby if you want. So that's how I plan on finishing the other one. So anyway, I hope that helps with the color. And bear with me. I don't know that this will be as smooth as my first one. I had one start and a finish since my last video, and that was St. Paddy. And this is a pattern by Salt and Pepper Stitching. She has some really cute kind of a holiday line, and this is one of them. Sorry, my hands are in the way. Cute little fun stitch. So I started that and finished it this last month since my last video, and stitched on 28 count white linen, just a piece of scrap that I had in my stash, and fabric from my stash, and the trim I got at the Stitch Niche, my local needlework store, and it's spruce from Dames of the Needle is the trim on there. So it's the first time I've hand sewn trim around a pillow. Usually I just leave them plain, but anyway, I was really happy with the way that turned out. Really cute. So I add a second pillow to my March display. Try to add to my seasonal stuff. My other piece is the March wordplay by with a needle and thread. So let's set this down. And so I've stitched on that since my last video, and then my other big focus piece was the Austrian spot sampler that I showed in my whip parade. So I got quite a bit done on this, and let's see if I can hold this up and show you what I've gotten done. So there is, so I was able to get, see how we can do this. I was able to add the back stitching in this piece, the back stitching in that one. There's a little bit of back stitching here. A lot of what I did is back stitching. So the back stitching here, the back stitching on that, and then I stitched this whole motif here and started adding the back stitching, but I didn't get that finished. So, but that was my progress on this piece. So, and I haven't decided whether to keep working on it as a focus. I say after I did most of that back stitching, I took a break, and that's when I did the St. Paddy's piece. I needed a break from the back stitching. So I haven't decided whether to keep this a focus piece or take a break and pick something else up. So we'll see. But it was nice. It's nice to get some significant, or I felt like significant progress on it. So but I'll get that in there. So also another like I said, I'm a multi-crafter, so I like to do quilting and knitting, and so one of the other pieces that I worked on this last month was the fabric company Riley Blake has a block challenge this year. I think they had one last year too, and I had seen it on Instagram, and their fabrics that they're doing are just plain, no pattern to them, and I never would have started it based on theirs. But then their other fabric designers on Instagram started showing their blocks and their own fabrics, and I saw this one and had to buy fabric and start it. So excuse me while I try to balance this box to get these out. So I'm behind so far, but if you're a quilter, Riley Blake, if you sign up for their newsletter, they send you the block pattern. You can download their patterns for free, and it's every Tuesday of the month except for the last Tuesday of the month, and it'll go till May, and so there'll be 16 total blocks. And so I've got the first 3 done, and this is fabric. So this is block number 1, and I just love these colors. The designer's Heather Peterson, and her fabric and pattern company is called Anka's Treasures, and the fabric line's called Indigo Garden. Excuse me. And in her blocks on Instagram, she had the background in this navy shishiko print, but I didn't move fast enough and it sold out. So I switched it to the turquoise shishiko print. So I moved some of the fabrics around. So that's my first one. And then this is block 2. And I hope these colors are showing up. My camera keeps flicking between normal and kind of a green haze. So, and this was the 3rd block I got done. So anyway, I have catching up to do, but I enjoyed this first block. I don't, for some reason, kind of reminds me of Mexican tile, the Mexican tiles that you see, all their bright colors. I think it's really pretty. So hope to keep working on that. And so it's another, like I said, I tend to squirrel from project to project, so got it all in a little storage tub with the fabric. Keep myself organized, or try. There we go. So, but I'm gonna have to do something though, because I'm keeping my granddaughter, my 7-month-old granddaughter, and I keep her usually upstairs in here with me, which this is my sewing room, but then the floor plan, it's an upstairs living area. We called it the game room, and when my kids got older, I took it over and as the sewing room. But now that I've got my 7-month-old, and she's not quite crawling yet, but she's getting close. But she's starting to get, I pick her up and she starts a twinkle in her eye, and she's eyeballing things that she can see on my stitching table or another table I've got here to my side of things that she wants to grab and get a hold of. So gonna have to do some thinking on how to raise the deck so that she doesn't get into things that she doesn't need to be into. I say she's at the stage where she's rolling, and she rolled all the way across the room the other day, and I had a tote bag on the floor with a knitting project in it, and she got to it. Luckily she didn't get to the knitting. So like I said, challenges ahead. So, but I say that's pretty much all I worked on, say this last month, for those 3 projects. And so I mentioned in my my last video that we were busy trying to get my son off to the East Coast. He successfully got there safe and sound, thank goodness, and he's in excuse me, in New Jersey, and it's going to be there for a few months till this summer. And he's doing some extra career training, so by the time he gets out of this, he'll be gainfully employed and off to his new career as a mechanic. But so I've jumped into plans as to what I want to stitch on moving forward. And where'd my bag go? So I thought it'd be nice to start something for him to be able to hang on the wall in his new apartment when he gets done with his training here this summer. So this is I need to make some more of my envelope project bags, because this is too small. I've got stuff stuffed in here at the moment. But anyway, I wanted to start something and have it done for him this summer. He picked out this pattern, I think it's been a couple of years ago, and I haven't started it. I'm going to hold up the pattern back. I bought it from Etsy, from a shop called Helen's Workshop, but when I went back today to look, the Etsy shop says she's no longer selling. But it's an eagle, and so I have a piece of color and cotton. It's kind of I think, where did I put the tag? Oop. This is what I want to stitch it on. It was in my stash, and it's the hand-dyed hearth. It's 28 count hearth by Color and Cotton. So, and let's see if we can hold up the thread colors on here without making a mess. So these will be the colors there. So anyway, this is the next thing I want to start and see if I can get that done. So he likes eagles, so, and he picked this pattern out. I showed it to him before I bought it, so hopefully you'll see some continuous progress on that over the next few months. So get that. And then the next thing, so I have 2 patterns that I want to start. This one and another one. I have very, or virtually no spring stitching. I say fall is my favorite season, and those are the patterns and the colors that I tend to get drawn to. I have a ton of autumnal patterns, and this kind of goes into haul. My husband and I went into Target the other day. I'll go ahead and show it. And this was at the front of the store in their, what do they call it, their dollar spot. There was these cute little chair shelf, and it's meant to hang on the wall. There was the white one, and then there's one that's more of a natural wood tone, and the back is, the shape is different. But anyway, I thought this would be really cute to stitch. When we bought, let's see if I can, this is like the one spring pattern I have is Spring by Country Cottage Needleworks. So I thought that would look cute stitched, and I already have this blue Ada in my stash, so I pulled that out. But to stitch that, and we bought these little clips at Hobby Lobby, and my husband just needs to attach it up here in this, let's see. Whoop. You get the idea. Attach it up here in the center, and then I can hang the spring thing in the center, and then maybe make a couple other pillows to set on the seat. So that's the plan. So these were really cute. I say in $5, so not a bad deal. So those are the two things I want to start, and like I said, hopefully you'll see some progress on that before or at the next video. I'm thinking about once a month for my videos. That'll be I don't think I say I stitched too slow to make a video every week. There wouldn't be enough progress to show. So since we've kind of gotten into haul, I'll go ahead and continue with that. So on my last video, I started the video showing you a finished piece, which I stitched the Country Cottage Needleworks December. So I've pulled some fabric to put with it as a backing, and then I was in Michael's and found this little, so my plan is to have it mounted on there with another little clip. So hopefully I'll have that to show you as a fully finished item next time. So, and as I say, I like this one because it was already stained. I didn't need to paint it or stain it myself. It was already done. So so that's that. Okay, now let's see, get myself a little situated here. I kind of went a little silly since my last video with Valentine stuff. My husband was worried because I've stitched some Valentine stitching and put up a little decorated a spot downstairs. He thought that we're very low-key. We've never really made a big deal of Valentines or birthdays or that kind of stuff. But when I started decorating for Valentine's and wanting to buy all this Valentine stuff, he was worried he was going to have to start doing more for Valentine's. After 30 years, I'm like, no, I just want to decorate and have fun. So, started off, I had signed up, I think back in December, I signed up for the Country Sampler store in Spring Green, Wisconsin. If you watch any other Flosstubes, I'm sure you've heard about them. They do cross stitching and quilting. So I'd signed up for their newsletter, and they had kits with this fabric. I can't remember if it says who the I forgot who the fabric line is by. Can't remember. Anyway, they had shown the fabric kits, and the kit is enough to make 2 9-inch pillows and 2 18-inch pillows. And it's see if I can get a good picture. It's of this block right here in the book, and the book is by Sitar Laundry Basket Quilts. So you had to buy the book in order to get the pattern. So I bought that and the kit so I can hopefully make some Valentine pillows for the living room next year. And as of their last newsletter, they still had these. So if you're interested. And then I also get a newsletter from Shabby Fabrics, and they have little mini pint-sized table runners, and they had this one for February, so I bought that one. And it's the first time I've ever bought a kit. Well, I've never bought a whole lot of kits, but this one is the laser cut applique pieces, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh, that's cool. So this will be a new, usually when I do applique, I usually do hand applique. I haven't done a whole lot of machine applique. So, and these I'm going to have to do by machine. So, but figured pint size, that was a good thing to start with, but thought it was really cute. And then, oh, I forgot to pull it out. I've had a bag of fabric in my fabrics closet of another heart quilt that I've had put together for years. And so then I saw this fabric, and I thought it would make a good backing for it. Thought it was really, really cute. Put it upside down. So, and I don't know. It's a Riley Blake fabric. Let's see. And see if I can read the selvage to tell you who it's by, or the Falling in Love by Dana Mogstad. So I don't know if you can still find it. I think you can. It comes in different colorways. Anyway, I just thought it was really, really cute. So I have a lot of Valentine sewing to do between now and next February. So, and then there's a shop cast. Oh, hang on. I'll say the Woolly Thistle. If you're a knitter, they have a shop cast. It's a short shop in New Hampshire. They're online only. They don't have a brick and mortar, but I got to watching their shop cast probably back in 2020. Anyway, the owner of the store is a lady that is Scottish, and so she imports her. She's all about the woolly wool and English, UK, and European wools, traditional wools. And she had this lady, Kristen Drysdale, on an interview on her Shopcast in her new book, and it's the knitting, Nordic knitting primer. Anyway, I had seen the book, but you know, I've been wanting to learn colorwork knitting, but I haven't been brave enough to try it. But after watching her interview on the Woolly Thistle, I decided to order the book. It's got some really good patterns in there. So I don't know when I will try it, but let's see. Thought, so anyway, just really pretty. So someday I'll get to trying colorwork knitting. We'll see. And then the one other thing I got, a friend of mine at church was at the dollar store one evening and knows that I knit, and texted that and this book was at the dollar store, which I've never seen knitting books in a dollar store before, but she texted a picture to me and asked me if I wanted, and it was like less than $2. So it's like, yeah, so there's a really cute little animal things. So might have to try my hand at that for the grand girl and see. But I've not knitted anything small before. So I have knit a teddy bear before, but it was a good sized teddy bear. So anyway, thought that was cute. So my last bit of haul, I made an order to oh wait, hang on, 2 more. Another Valentine stitch. I've never bought anything from Heart and Hand before, and I know she comes out with these heart collector patterns every year, so this is the first one I've ever bought. But I really liked the saying on this one about make a life beautiful for others. So anyway, and it's got the fabric and the buttons for it. So, and then from the Country Sampler, when I ordered the Valentine pillow kit, I also ordered the Stacy Nash what's it called? Sweater Weather pin keeps. I thought those were really cute. I like the patterns in them. So and some the next bit of haul. If you haven't watched, she's a fairly new floss tuber. Catherine, the Needleberry Stitcher, has 2 videos where she goes through her Mirabilia patterns, and she has every pattern they've ever come out with. And I've don't dislike Mirabilias before. I just thought I would never stitch one, but now well, there was ever only one that I ever wanted to stitch, and it's an out of print pattern, and I had bought that previously, but now after watching Catherine's video, I've fallen down the Mirabilia rabbit hole. But I had ordered this a while ago. It's called Ashley's Roses, and it's one of the pricier ones. I paid too much money for it, but considering usually for the price I paid, usually when I've seen these on eBay or I found this one from an Etsy seller, she actually sold it with the fabric and a package of the beads to go with it for the price I normally see just for the pattern. So it's got just a 32 count antique white, which is what the pattern calls for. But I don't know, I mean, it's pretty, but her white dress I thought might look prettier on a different color of fabric. And I've searched on Pinterest and I've searched on Instagram, and of course this pattern, I think it's from, I forgot what year. It's one of her really early ones. Yeah, 1998. So anyway, I didn't see but like a couple of stitched pins of it on different fabric, or actually any at all. So I made an order to 1-2-3 Stitch to see if I could find a different fabric, and I ordered this one, and it's called A Touch of Yellow, but it's not what I expected. I mean, I was expecting a soft yellow. To me, this looks exactly the same as antique white. So I haven't seen a whole lot of floss tubers stitch this one. You tend to see, that's what I liked about Catherine, the Needleberry Stitchers, when she went through all her Mirabilia patterns, because she showed some I'd never seen before. Because at least when I've watched Flosstube, I tend to see the same Mirabilias stitched. Now granted, I don't watch a whole lot of people, or haven't in the past, of people that stitch Mirabilia, so I'd be interested you know, to see anybody's finishes. One of the pins that I saw on Pinterest had the Ashley's Roses stitched on a piece of like a sky blue with white to look like clouds. So I'm thinking that would be really pretty. So now I've got to hunt for fabric. But so So also with that 1, 2, 3 stitch, I ordered Princess Ileana, and I have to say, I don't know what it is about this one, but I just think it's so cool. Of course, there's a lot of people stitching this one I saw on Instagram. So, and I've also ordered from a different site, one that I want to stitch for my daughter called Miss Cherry Blossom. My daughter likes Asian stuff. So between this one and the one I've ordered for my daughter, I ordered the smallest cuts of fabric I could from 1, 2, 3 stitch, which is 8 by 12, or yeah. So just to test out, because the Miss Cherry Blossom calls for this fabric, which is a 32 count touch of pink. Yeah, touch of pink, which to me is peachy. So when I was showing my husband, he didn't like that. He was like, so I ordered this one that's called Blush, and again, these are all 32 count. I think that would be pretty, but I'll have to see when I get the pattern. I ordered the pattern and the bead set from Cross Stitch Boutique, so I've never ordered from them before, so we'll see. And then I ordered this is called Peaceful Purple by which oddly enough, or funny enough, is what this is called for to be stitched on. So, and then lastly, I ordered Jazz by Picture This Plus. So this isn't my typical kind of fabric, but I'm thinking that she could be pretty on that. I don't know. Or Miss Cherry Blossoms. We'll see. So, oh, and when I put my order in for 1, 2, 3 stitch, for anybody else that lives, I'm here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and which turns out so is 1, 2, 3 stitch. And when I put my order in, I didn't see it come up before I put my order in, but there was a sorry, I keep bumping the table, a notification that they are opening a retail store and hope to be open this spring. So there was a button to click on and put your email in if you were interested to be notified when they open. So that'll be fun. As I say, out of the whole Metroplex, the Stitch Niche in Arlington is the only cross-stitch store that I know of. There's a needlepoint store in Fort Worth, and then there's another cross-stitch needlepoint store down in Cleburne, which is, you know, a bit of a trek. So Lewis, in the 1, 2, 3 shop, I think will be in Louisville, which for me will be a bit of a trek, but it'll be fun to have another store in the Metroplex to visit. So that's exciting. So like I said, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you can go out to 1, 2, 3 stitch and see if you can find that notify button, and they'll send you a note when they open. So where'd sorry guys, I made notes, so I want to make sure I don't forget anything. I think that's, don't want to go without saying, like everyone else, just the heartbreak and sadness over the war going on in the Ukraine. Many, many prayers for those people, for the people in the Ukraine. It's just really disturbing and sad. And I don't know if you watch, there's been more than one Flosstuber I think that I've watched that has mentioned this. The first one was Jan Hicks of Jan Hicks Creates, and thinking of other ways to support Ukrainians, and that was to go out to Etsy. And I didn't even know that you could do this. It hadn't occurred to me, but there's a filter that you can put in to search what country the Etsy shop is in. And so she, on her Jan Hicks video, she shows you how to do that. So I went out and searched, and I bought a few patterns. So I wanted to share those, because this way, you can buy a PDF pattern and support them financially, and then they don't, without having to mail something. So I thought I'd share those with you. One of the Etsy shops was called Fireplace Hobby, and almost all of her patterns were of biscornus. And so this one is, I don't know how to say that word, that Scandinavian. Anyway, I really loved the colors and the pattern on that one. So I bought that one. And then bought this one that's called Circles Biscornu. So she had several patterns that I liked, but I bought these two. I have a shelf downstairs that my brother and sister-in-law bought me years and years ago. To give you a clue, it's when all the crackle painting finishes were real popular. I don't know if that was mid to late 90s. Anyway, I tried one of those crackle finishes and wasn't happy with it. Sat for a long time. Finally got it stripped, and then it got put up in the attic, and so, out of sight, out of mind. So it's been pulled down, and I want to get it painted this spring. And so my goal is to put it up on the wall across the room and fill it with biscornus and drums. So, which I've never made either one of those things, but as I say, I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. So collecting the biscornu patterns, I have a few. I've ordered the Tracy Kogut from Market. I think it's called the Newcastle biscornu, because it's the butterfly based off the sampler she came out with last year or 2 years ago. So anyway, and I ordered a drum pattern from Market as well. So anyway, future plans, as I say, need more hours in the day. So another Etsy shop that I visited had all these patterns with letters, and there were yellow roses. So, and you can get the whole alphabet with each letter is a separate pattern. But she had yellow roses, red roses, I think there was orange, and then she had some other styles too, and then she had some other kind of Scandinavian hearts and styles. Anyway, I thought that would be cool with the yellow rose and my initial. And her shop is Love Me OKs, or Love, I don't know, I'll put that up. I'll try to remember to put these in the description box below, so if you're interested you can go look too. And the last Etsy shop that I bought from is called Cute Patterns by Maria, and she has a ton of patterns. The first one I ordered was this Summer Owl. I just thought that was so cool. I don't know if I'll ever stitch it, but their patterns, and I can't remember if it was this shop. There were several Ukrainian shops that were having big sales, like buy 10 get 10% off, or by volume. So there were several of those. So but yeah, I thought that was really cool. My grandmother used to collect owls. I think she would have liked that. And then the last one that I ordered, the pattern didn't have, it was a set of 8, and they're all snow globe. This one, I just printed one for you to see, the snow globe with Santa, but there was it's a set of 8. You could buy she had a whole bunch of these snow globe patterns, and then you could buy them individually, and then there were different sets. So I bought the set that had Santa, a red house, a Christmas tree. There was one with 2 bunnies standing under a lamppost, a red Volkswagen with a Christmas tree on top of it. That was cute. A reindeer, and then 2 little penguins. So I just thought these were really, really cute. I'd like to do some more Christmas ornaments. So anyway, just another encourage, the big charities are of course good, but anything we can do to help the Ukrainians. I figured, you know, I can do a little bit and buy a few patterns. So, and I favorited some other stores that maybe I say with my, I haven't picked up. Today was market day at my local needlework store, the Stitch Niche, but I wasn't able to go in and get there before they closed. So, but I had put in I ordered too many things. So, but I hope to go back and maybe buy some more of the Etsy patterns. So, I think that's all I've got for today. So not bad. Says my camera says 40 minutes. So, let me know if you have any questions or if I missed something. And as I say, I'll try to list these Etsy shops in the description box. And but if you say if I missed something, if you have any questions, just leave me a comment and I'll reply to you as soon as possible. So stay safe and happy stitching, and we'll see you in about a month. Bye.